of a supervisor, Allie Miller, which could only mean one thing.
It's Miller time!
It's Miller time! We have so much to talk about with our good friend, Supervisor Allie Miller. Welcome to Wonderful One and True.
Thank you, James.
Are you sure? You sure you want to keep doing this, girl?
Oh, it's great. It's great
because
fun.
I mean, you are stirring up the pot.
All kinds of trouble.
I'm getting you in trouble. You getting me in trouble. We'll talk about that trouble in a moment. Okay. But this extraordinary response to MillerTime, an extraordinary response to one woman who's asking questions and peeling back the onion, and it has not been well received. Allie Miller. Before we talk about that, though, let's talk about what happened in the in the meeting that took place yesterday.
Yesterday we had a meeting, and it was we have one more meeting this year. But in the meeting, we had a vote on whether to remove some boards, commissions, and committees, and their volunteer committees or appointees by the Board of Supervisors to these various committees. Some of them, I looked at them, they needed to go. Various historical commissions, they hadn't met. But two really stuck out to me. One specifically was the Budget Review Committee. Mm-hmm. That committee was established in 1996, and each Board of Supervisor member was to appoint two members. They never got a quorum. A quorum was 6 people.
Right.
They never appointed a quorum. As soon as I got in, it was within a short period of time I had 2 appointees on there.
So how come, wait a minute, so each supervisor is responsible for suggesting 2 people to be part of the Budget Review Committee, and you never got
I appointed my 2 appointees. Ray Carroll has 2 appointees, and I think Sharon Bronson has 1. That's 5 people. There was never a quorum, which is 6. And that committee has been in existence since 1996.
Well, why would that be? I mean, that's simple. That's like, the Senate not passing a budget for the last 5 years. There has to be some type of strategery, or is it just straight up incompetence? Why don't you have a quorum for the Budget Review Committee?
Well, I've been down there years ago speaking about this and asking the same question. Ray Carroll used to ask that question. And it's my belief that it just, we don't have transparency. And the less that people can see, the less that people have their fingers in there, they're able to look into, ask questions. The more they like it that way.
So could it be that the people who don't want transparency, they just alternate each year who's going to just come up with one? And so there's always one short of quorum?
There has never been a quorum, and I can tell you the 2 Republicans on there for years before had their appointees on there, and then I appointed my 2 appointees, and there has never been a quorum. So
I would like to volunteer Stacy's services to be the 6th person there so that you could have quorum.
We'd love to have him. Unfortunately, I can only appoint 2. And then they just abolished the committee yesterday, so that will never be in existence again.
Wait a minute. After years of not having a quorum, so that we would not have a budget, so we couldn't have a budget review committee, they just got rid of it altogether.
Yes, they abolished the committee.
And what was the vote on that?
It was 3-2. Ray Carroll objected to the ethics committee being abolished. I had questions about that. There are other areas where ethics procedures.
That's a different committee.
Yes, there were 2 different committees. The others were committees that I felt I agreed they should have been abolished. But these 2 committees specifically, the Ethics Committee and the Budget Review Committee, in my opinion, should have been left in place.
And these are the 2 that were eliminated yesterday.
Yes.
And actually, you and Ray Carroll agreed on the fact that the Budget Review Committee and the Ethics Committee were something that should be there.
Yes.
But, why should you have a budget review? Why should you have a budget review, Allie? I mean, nationally, we don't even have a budget. So why should we have a budget review in it? And when it comes to Ethics Committee, ethics, this is not the age of ethics. This is the age of whatever.
Right. I think, it just reflects poorly on us as a board. And that was my point yesterday, that I did, in fact, my district held a budget review this year, the first one ever. District 1 held the review, and we had a group of volunteers that came in, and we had the county administrator sat down with us with his staff and answered questions for 3 hours. That is the way it should be done, but it should be done with all 5 districts participating. All 5 districts, all of them asking questions, because we're in there every day and we know what's going on. I was brand new, but I had a group of people and we asked a lot of questions. We spent 3 hours asking questions, and we'll do it again this year.
So what's going to happen now that you don't have this committee? Or you don't have the budget committee, you don't have the ethics committee. How will things move forward?
Well, these committees have never had a quorum, so they've never done anything anyway.
So it's business as usual.
So it's business as usual. However, I did last year, as I said, I had a budget review, and I intend to do it this year as well. And it was the first one I think they'd ever had. It was stunning. We were in the boardroom for 3 hours with a whole group of people. The room was filled with people with a lot of questions. And I thought it really helped the Pima County Administrator, the Pima County Board of Supervisors to look a whole lot better. And the fact that meeting was open and the public was allowed to be there, I saw nothing but positive out of it, but apparently, they weren't so thrilled with it. But I do expect it will happen again this year.
Strangely, this is in line with the whole meme, if you will, or theme of not having any transparency. It seems we're moving in this direction. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe it's even picking up speed in that we're going to be blind to the actions that's going on in the county.
Well, it seems like, there's more and more things that they're trying to eliminate. Like these boards yesterday have been out there forever. Why all of a sudden now? Why is it so important now? Okay, they got rid of them. And I think that there is probably a push towards that, because I made the motion to allow people to see the videos from the meeting so that they could click on whatever item they were interested in and be able to see those. There was a no vote on that. That was stunning, 4-1. I don't understand why it would help them. And that's what I don't understand. But I don't have the conversation with these people to understand what their thinking is. They don't feel the need to give the public any input on what their thinking is. They just vote no, yes or no, without any explanation, which I think is very unfortunate.
There's one more meeting left this year, you say?
Yes.
Before we head into 2014, what's the agenda for the last meeting? Going to have a Christmas party or something like that?
Well, no, we won't.
Exchanging gifts with Elias or something like that?
Yeah, I'll probably get some coal. No, we are not having a Christmas exchange, I don't believe, at the meeting. I have not yet seen the agenda. There's a preliminary one out, but I haven't seen it. So I don't know what is on the agenda.
I haven't not had a chance to talk to you or see you since I took my selfie down at the McDonald's minimum wage protest. But in that selfie, I was told by John Justice, because I didn't know these people, Richard Elias was there with a couple of his staff.
Yes.
And then later I heard that he made a big deal out of it. He mentioned it on his Facebook page. He was proud to stand with the underpaid workers, but there was nobody in that line that was an actual McDonald's worker.
The pictures that I saw didn't look like your average McDonald's worker, and I would assume the people that were working were working. But yeah, I noticed in that picture right over your shoulder actually two of Richard's staff members.
Is that how they dress down there where, when they go to work? Because they didn't look business professional. It looked like the rest of the rabble-rousers who were protesting.
Yeah, I've never seen Richard in a cap like that. So that was, I hardly recognized him.
See,
I looked at that and I went, that's Richard.
Which begs the question, did he want to be recognized?
He needs to get one of those noses with a mustache and the glasses.
Right. That's the next step. That's what will be at the next protest. All right, Allie, coming up next, we're going to talk about this article. We've got to talk about the Emil Franzi hit piece that appeared.
Rant.
It was a rant, and it started out about you. And as I was reading, I was like, okay, that's cool. But then it attacked me. Allie, actually, I want to get down to give you the opportunity to kind of clear up some of the misinformation that they were hitting against you. And then we have to talk about a broader picture here, because I really do believe that MillerTime is stirring up the pot, and people are reacting in a way because they actually, I'm going to get your take on why this is happening now. My friends, it is Miller Time, and you're listening to 104.1 The Truth. We're in studio with Supervisor Allie Miller. It is Miller Time. We talked about the meeting that took place yesterday, how oversight not an oversight committee, was the
and the ethics committee,
budget review committee, ethics committee, gone.
Yep. They are no more. They never really did anything.
Right.
So
it's dead weight gone.
But
those people were not paid, were they?
No, none of those committees are paid. They're all volunteer, which is the good thing about it.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Volunteers.
Usually you get volunteers, people who really want to be there to do that. They put that work in.
Yeah. I found that with my budget review committee that I put in place very quickly. Just a lot of people just, jumped in and tore that budget apart. We had 3 weeks.
That's something that millennial generation just won't do anymore, volunteer and that kind of thing.
They're so entitled.
We have three different generations in a room. You're a boomer, and I'm a boomer. Xer, and the guy playing with the video games over there right now is part of the millennial generation. All right, Allie Miller, let's get into this, and we're going to carry it over, of course. But this article that appeared, which was a hack job on you in the Inside Business or Inside Tucson Business. It was written by Emil Franzi, and he started out talking about the old days, the days of Moore and Marsh and Boyd, whatever. I don't know.
I don't even remember those people.
Yeah. See, yeah. I retitled it the attack, Wrath of Khan. He just rose up just from the hospital bed and just spewed anger and victorology.
He woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
But he said something. There's some things here I wanted you to kind of address. He said the ultimate result. This is the Stalin-like purges. I want to talk about he started with your election. He came down halfway through the article. Miller has combined the delusions of Moore and the cluelessness of Marsh, who we don't know, without the personal charm of either. She seems driven by a pathological dislike of fellow GOP supervisor Ray Carroll. The Franzi is accusing you and your staff of isolating yourself behind locked doors and rarely talk to anyone. And he said that what she tells people is often false and even bizarre. Paranoia lurks. My first question to you is, how does he know this?
He says I don't talk to people, but then he says I say false and bizarre things. And paranoia lurks. So he contradicts himself all over the place.
He does contradict himself.
How would he know this? Our offices are secured. We're all behind a very secured area, and everybody's offices are separate. I will tell you that my staff, we keep the doors closed because we're working. We're busy, and we're answering phones, and my staff is incredibly busy and very competent, and you can ask any of the District 1 folks that have called in for assistance about the kind of response that they get, because I get all kinds of emails and phone calls and people stopping me in the street and calling me at home and telling me, wow, your staff is fantastic, the response is great, first time we've ever gotten a response on the roads, those kinds of things. So I'm feeling really pretty good about what my staff has.
Have you ever met Emil Franzi?
I met the man one time.
And he knows all this stuff about you upon one meeting.
Yeah.
So I'm asking the question again. How does he know about all this stuff? How does he know about how your office works, or that you are locking yourself off from other people? I have a supervisor, PM County Supervisor Allie Miller, and it's Miller Time. We're going to extend this baby, taking it to the other side to give her an opportunity to respond to these false allegations. You're listening to 104.1 The Truth. We are in the midst of a Miller Time segment. We have Pima County Supervisor Allie Miller in studio, and we're discussing the hit piece that was put out by Emil Franzi, who, I had someone who was at the meeting, I guess the day after MillerTime or the day of. I forgot exactly how that worked out, but she was suggesting that a lot of the rant came from the fact that we were talking, and I had alluded to some things, and two of the three people that in my section of the hit piece that I was accused of going off on, Ray Carroll, Bruce Ash, and former state senator Antonori, right? That I had mentioned them. I didn't mention them on there, but all of that ended up being a part of this article. Instead of just cherry picking this whole thing and trying to have you dispute what is obviously distorted, I want to talk about a bigger issue here, because one of the people who I understand that this article is now making the rounds.
Oh, yes, it's being put in all kinds of papers. I heard today that it is now in the Green Valley News. They are lowering themselves. Green Valley News, Sarita's son, they are lowering themselves to publish a hatchet piece like this. I mean, there is nothing logical it's just a hateful rant.
Who has the juice to push this around the neighboring counties?
Well, that is interesting. I'd like to know. I do know that's in Ray Carroll's district. Would it be Ray? I don't know. Could be.
Because this is where I'm going with this is this the state of the Republican Party? We have, I've never met Bruce Ash. I think I met Ray Carroll once. Of course, I know Antonori. I know these people. But is this how the game is played? If they disagree with you, especially with you, and I brought this up before because you are a female, you are a conservative, you have a reputation of asking questions, you peel things back, you are upsetting the apple cart. And of course, I'm beautiful and I'm conservative. It's like we have targets on our back.
That's absolutely right. And it is the way the Republican Party is a mess, and there's a reason it is a mess, because they have a certain, here's my opinion. I don't think they can get over the fact that I actually won this election. They're still trying to get over that. I beat their guy, Mike Helen. They can't accept it. So they are just, continuing with these rants. This went on all through my campaign. Most people didn't even hear about it. But when I talk to people and people that I know, people that I've recently met, I was talking to one of my doctors today, and I told him about this, and he's like, what? And he Googled it, and he's like, oh my God, you don't talk to people? He goes, you're one of the most talkative people I know. And so they have no credibility. And when the Republican Party, when Bruce Ash posts this on his Facebook page, to be sure to read this Insight to Some Business column 2 days before it came out. What does that say about the state of the Republican Party? He should be ashamed. The Republican Party needs to take a strong look in the mirror, and John Boehner is running a school on teaching Republican men how to talk to women. How embarrassing is that? And this just reinforces that image.
From the national, whether we're talking national or whether we're talking local, it seems to me that the old guard or the establishment are completely, utterly out of touch with the very people who are passionate about the party. And I'll tell you something else, Allie Miller. This whole, and again, when I was in Wisconsin, I was a weekend talk show host. But when the governor came to town, when the RNC chairman, Reince Priebus, all these people came to town, they talked to us. I have never met Bruce Ash. Never. The only time I really talked about him was when I tried to bail him out when he made the asinine comments. And I gave him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, that was bad.
But I did question whether or not he should be in this. So all of this stuff that's happening, you should read this article, and then pushing it around the state is asinine.
It is.
And it's dangerous because it's a big microphone. It's big. It's huge. And the thing is we're trying to play for the team. But this is not about ideology down here. What is freaking me out about Tucson, this isn't about Democrat policies. This isn't about Republican policies. This is about cabals.
It is.
This is a cabal.
It absolutely is.
And so you don't know, as someone who is new, and I try to bring people in to help understand the lay of the land, you don't know how to approach this if it's not about the ideas. If it's about the handshake or it's about the old boys club or what do you do with that?
Yeah, and that's the thing that I'm upsetting is because I do ask questions. I'm not going after, social issues in any strong way. I'm going after financial, just asking simple questions that anybody with a common sense sitting in a meeting would ask. And because I'm doing that, I get this kind of, crazy hit piece done on me, and it will continue. I expect it to continue, but I find it very dangerous for the Republican Party here in Pima County. They better clean it up, and they better do something about it. I know it is this whole cabal thing going on, but if there's leadership at the state or at the national level that are listening to this, and think of the poor candidates running.
This would discourage people. This would discourage people. Then you end up not getting quality people who are trying to run. And at the risk of my tax assessments going up even higher, Allie Miller, I just want to say, this type of stuff does not make me afraid or does not make me cower or say, oh, gosh, no, who am I offending now? It's the real problem here is I don't know whom I am offending when I'm giving you my opinion or trying to tell the truth. But it seems to me that you throw a rock in a pack of dogs, the one that yelps the loudest is the one that got hit.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's going on here. And the more that I go after this stuff, the more that we're getting hit. And it's going to continue for the next, however long I'm up for 3 more years, and I hope to run again in 2016, but they are going to do everything they can. They talk about, what did they call us? Smear masters?
Smear masters.
After this, how dare you be a smear master after you wrote this and Stalin-like purges, and they were mad because these guys got rid of Chuck Huckleberry back in the day. I don't know.
What do they call it? Gypsy? Gypsy?
Oh, they called
John's
you
a
gypsy.
I'm a gypsy because I came in from a different, different state or whatever. I'm telling you, after my McCain moment, in the onslaught of hate and death threats that I received from Obama supporters, this is par for the course.
Yeah,
but it's still very disappointing that it's not about ideas.
No.
It's not about trying to be creative in fixing and addressing the city's issues. It's about personalities.
It is. It's about personalities, and you think about, women thinking about running for office, thinking about, reading this and going, do I really want to go through this? Do I want to put my family through this? My family has to read this stuff. We're so used to it now. It isn't even worth the paper it's printed on. And the fact that we have a Republican National Committeeman promoting it.
That's what I find very disturbing.
It is disturbing. It's disturbing to me as an elected Republican woman that the committeeman from my state is out there advertising this kind of stuff, and it needs to stop. And I hope someone from the state or the national committee will do something about this. I don't hold out. Well,
they probably won't. They probably won't. But here's what I want you to know, Allie Miller. Yeah, we got your back, girl.
Awesome.
We've got your back.
Well, we need to keep getting the word out, and I intend to continue to do that.
It is my hope that you will have the support of the people who will value MillerTime, and actually coming onto the show and talking about this. I know you go on to other shows as well, and I don't have a problem with that. I appreciate the fact that you've given my audience this time. And I hope that when it comes time for you to be reelected, that they show that they appreciate the fact that you have just been telling them what's going on in the meetings, what's going on in the city, in the county, and if you don't want to know, then don't vote for it.
Yeah. There you go. And that's the way I approach this is, I'm not in this to win a popularity contest. I'm not in this to make a career out of it. I'm in it to do the right thing, and I will continue doing the right thing and asking the questions. And that's what I promised the people that when I was out campaigning, that's what I promised, and I keep my promises. I don't fold. I don't switch gears. I don't become somebody else because somebody puts a little pressure on me, because trust me, it happens. But it's just wrong what is going on in this town, and I intend to.
It's wrong, and if it doesn't change, I think the Republican Party is in danger of imploding, because no one wants to support. They want to be about something. They should have learned this in the last election. What was Romney about? He wasn't about himself. He wasn't putting out anything positive. He was about